The sharp, metallic scent of gunpowder lingered in the air. Max, the German shepherd, paced nervously at the edge of the presidential compound, his senses on high alert. He was never supposed to be here, but something in the air told him that tonight was different. Dangerous. The sound of footsteps approaching startled him, his tail stiffening. But it wasn't the guards that had him worried. It was the men in suits lurking in the shadows that Max was trained to sense. The hair along his back stood tall. Something was wrong. Max's bond with President Michael Harris wasn't just one of loyalty. It was one forged in shared peril. Michael had never fully understood why his trusted canine companion reacted so strongly to certain events, but tonight, Max's instincts were louder than ever. His eyes locked onto the men in the shadows, men whose intent he could feel like a silent pulse. It all started months ago, long before this night. Max had been assigned as part of the president's security detail after an assassination attempt left the country reeling. His job was simple: stay by the president's side, watch and guard. But Max, with his unshakable intuition, had begun noticing things the human eyes missed: strange patterns, odd behaviors, unexplained coincidences. It wasn't just the usual security protocols anymore. Something sinister was brewing beneath the surface. The day before the crucial event, Max had been in the presidential estate's garden when he spotted an unfamiliar car parked across the street. At first, he thought nothing of it. But there was something about the car, a strange aura of tension surrounding it. He had barked loudly, drawing attention, but the people in the car had remained still, almost unnervingly calm. Max could sense a threat even if it was well hidden. That evening, while the president enjoyed a quiet dinner, Max's behavior grew increasingly erratic. He circled, pacing in the living room, his gaze fixed on the window. His ears twitched at every sound, and he whimpered occasionally, something he never did. The usually stoic Secret Service agents dismissed his restlessness, attributing it to the stress of his high-profile job. But Max knew better. Later that night, while the president was preparing for a late meeting, Max became even more anxious. He stopped in his tracks, staring out the window as a black van pulled into the driveway. This wasn't just any van. It was one that had been present the day of the assassination attempt. The very same van that had been spotted near the site of the previous attempt on the president's life. Max wasn't about to let this go unnoticed. The president, however, was busy with other matters, unaware of the danger that had quietly crept upon them. Max barked again, this time loud enough to be heard by the guards outside. But his barks weren't just a warning. They were a message. He was trying to say, "Something's wrong." The response was immediate, but the guards weren't prepared for what would come next. Within minutes, the compound erupted into chaos. A group of masked men armed with rifles stormed the building. They were quick, precise, and terrifying. Max's instincts kicked in. As they breached the perimeter, he lunged forward, forcing the nearest attacker into a frantic retreat. His powerful jaws clamped down on the man's leg, and with a growl, he dragged him to the ground. The gunfire erupted, but Max's courage held strong. He didn't retreat. In the ensuing confusion, Max's heroic actions kept the president safe as agents scrambled to escort him to safety. Yet Max wasn't finished. He could still sense something was off, something deeper than what met the eye. As the attackers were neutralized, Max, breathing heavily, spotted one more figure, a lone man slipping through the shadows. Not fleeing, but approaching with intent. With a swift, calculated move, Max intercepted the final threat, taking down the man just as he was about to reach the president. The moment the attacker's weapon hit the ground, Max stood tall, his chest heaving as the agents rushed to subdue the remaining assailant. Hours later, after the danger had passed, President Harris stood in his office, staring at the German shepherd who had just saved his life. His heart was still racing, and though the danger had passed, the image of Max's bravery remained etched in his mind. He knelt beside the dog, scratching his ears gently. "You've done more than anyone could ask for, Max," the president whispered. But the story didn't end there. The following morning, a statement was issued, one that was carefully crafted to omit the key role Max had played in the night's events. The official narrative said that the Secret Service had successfully thwarted the assassination attempt. with no mention of the German shepherd who had been instrumental in saving the president's life. It was the type of story that the public could stomach, a clean, straightforward account. But Max knew the truth, and President Harris, despite the official statements, knew the real hero behind the scenes. As the days passed, rumors spread through the media, whispers of an extraordinary dog whose actions had changed the course of history. Those who were close to the situation, agents, staff, and even the president, knew that Max had saved their lives. But it was a story that would remain in the shadows, never fully revealed to the world, and so Max, the silent hero, remained by the president's side, a guardian in the truest sense, never seeking the limelight, but always ready to act when it mattered most. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.